Welcome to The Explainer. So today we're diving into this really powerful story by Alphonse Daudet called The Last Lesson. And it's all about a chilling question. What happens when a language, an entire culture, is just silenced overnight? Seriously, just think about that for a second. What if you walked into class one day and were told this was it? Your last chance ever to speak your own language. That's exactly the reality we're going to explore. We're following a young boy, Franz, as he and his whole village get hit with this news. And we're going to feel the weight of that moment right along with him. All right, so our story kicks off with this kid, Franz. And at first, it seems like a totally normal morning, you know? He's running late for school, he's dreading a test, we've all been there. But as he's racing through town, he starts picking up on these little clues that something is just off. Something is seriously wrong. And these clues, they just keep piling up, building this really creepy sense of dread. First, he sees this crowd just standing silently in front of the town bulletin board. And you have to understand, that's where all the bad news has come from for the last 2 years. Then he hears it, the sound of Prussian soldiers drilling nearby. But the real shocker? It's the school. It's completely, eerily quiet. And inside, his teacher is wearing his best clothes. And, get this, the village elders are sitting in the back of the classroom. They're never there, just waiting. So for Franz, this is where the tension just becomes almost too much. Think about a normal school day. It was pure chaos, right? A huge bustle, desk slamming, kids shouting lessons all at once. But today, it's as quiet as a Sunday morning. And his teacher, Mr. Hamel, who was famous for being strict with his big iron ruler, is kind. He's gentle. And that contrast, that's what tells Franz something huge is about to go down. And then it happens. All those weird clues, that heavy silence, the tension in the air, it all comes to a head. Hamel gets up in front of the class, and with one shocking announcement, the whole mystery is solved. Franz says the words hit him like a thunderclap. And boom, just like that, everything makes sense. The crowd at the bulletin board, the eerie quiet, the teacher's fancy clothes, it all clicks. This is it. This is their last lesson in French, their last chance, ever, to learn in their own language. And hearing that, it just completely changes everything for Franz. In an instant, his whole view of school, his teacher, even himself, it's all about to be turned upside down. He's just hit with this huge wave of regret. Suddenly, he's thinking about all the times he skipped school to go look for birds' eggs or go sliding on the river. All that time just wasted. And his books, the ones that felt like such a nuisance, so heavy to carry just that morning, now they feel like old friends that he can't bear to say goodbye to. But here's the thing. It's not just Franz who feels this way. Hamel, the teacher, he makes it really clear that everyone shares the blame. He calls out the parents, for preferring their kids work on a farm for a little extra cash instead of going to school. And then he even blames himself for sending the kids to water his flowers or giving them a day off when he wanted to go fishing. It's this incredibly powerful moment where they all realize they all took their language for granted. So in this room filled with so much regret, the lesson completely changes. This isn't about grammar anymore. Nope. It becomes this really profound, passionate speech about their culture, their identity, and, their freedom. And this is the core of it all. This is Hamel's big message. He tells them French is the most beautiful language in the world, and they have to guard it, protect it. Why? Because language isn't just words. It's not just communication. It's the very heart of who you are. It's your history, it's what connects you, and when you're oppressed, it's the key to your own prison.
What Hamel is talking about here is something we now call linguistic identity. And it's a pretty simple but powerful idea. Your language is a fundamental part of you. You can't separate it from who you are. So if you lose your language, you lose a piece of yourself, and you lose that vital connection to everyone around you.
And in that last hour, Franz is just locked in. He's listening with this desperate focus he's never had before. And something amazing happens. For the first time, it all makes sense. All those grammar rules that seemed impossible before, suddenly, they're easy. It's in that moment that the true value of what they're losing becomes painfully and kind of beautifully clear to him. Okay, so the lesson is coming to an end, but there's no school bell. There's just the sound of the clock on the wall ticking away, counting down the very last moments of an entire way of life. These last few moments are just gut-wrenching. It's like this slow and inevitable countdown. They have their history lesson, the little kids at the back chant their letters one last time, And you can hear one of the old village elders crying softly as he tries to chant along with them. And then the church clock strikes 12. And right on cue, you hear the trumpets of the Prussian soldiers outside. It's over. The end is here. Hamel stands up. Franz says he looks pale and somehow taller than he's ever seemed before. He tries to say something. "My friends," he starts. But he can't. He's just too choked up. He can't get the words out. So instead, unable to speak, he turns to the blackboard and picks up a piece of chalk. And with all the strength he has left, he writes 2 words on the board. Vive la France. Long live France. And this isn't just a slogan, right? It's a final, silent scream of defiance. It's a testament to the culture that's being ripped away from them right then and there. Then, without another word, he just leans his head against the wall and gestures with his hand for them to go. School is dismissed. And just like that, for 40 years of his life of faithful service, it all comes to this silent, absolutely heartbreaking end. And that's where the story leaves us, really. It poses a pretty heavy question. It makes you stop and think about your own life, right? Your language, your traditions, the things that make up your identity. And it asks you, how much do you take those things for granted? Because this story is a powerful reminder of just how fragile they are and how quickly they can be gone.